Outside here today it is rainy and dismal, but I got some happy in the mail and we're going to go ahead and take a look at October's darn good yarn. Hey y'all, it's JJ with Baby Girl Craftin'. I'm so excited to open the darn good yarn of the month subscription box that I got today, and mostly because one, it rattles, which always is fun when there's something in there that's rattling. But it's green. It's like this lime green box. My favorite color. So I'm very excited about that. So I'm super excited to see what's inside. I have to tell you, last month's Darn Good Yarn, the really pretty one, Midnight something Galaxy I think is what it was called, I decided not to do the project. Instead, I'm using it in a string art project that I have decided to do, and I'll have a video for that hopefully up in the next couple weeks. But it just goes really well with that project, and I was having trouble with the string, or the yarn, because it is so inconsistent that I was having a hard time crocheting with it, because some of the parts were so thin that they were breaking. And I know I've heard some other people have that problem before. I never really had before. And I could have probably worked with it if I really wanted to, but then I had thought of this other project. I've never done string art before, so I was like, yay, let's try it. So that's what I'm using that yarn for. So check back in a couple weeks, because that video should hopefully be up by then, unless I run into some tragic issues with getting the project done. But I'm having fun hammering a bunch of nails at the moment. So let's see what's inside the October Darn Good Yarn of the Month subscription box. And while I'm opening it, let me tell you, darn good, this right here is a subscription that I subscribe to, and I get it once a month. It's $9.99 plus shipping, and you get 50 grams of yarn and a little gift. So it's a good box for beginners, and usually the yarn is silk, so I mean it's worth it in that sense, I guess. And the company itself, it has a bunch of charities and stuff that it works with artisans in India, and so that's kind of a nice bonus for it too. But it's kind of the first box I went with, and the company's been kind of an up and down situation, and I really think that they've picked it up, and they are doing much better than they used to overall. So I'm excited to see where they go. Mostly I stay with them out of curiosity. So let's see what we got today. Ooh, I kind of like that. Alright, so the first thing I saw when I opened up the box, and the camera is so far away today, that it's this pink, and they're all different colors of pink, all the way to like a mauve. So, and it's thin, but it looks consistent, which I do like. This is a silk blend sports weight, okay, yarn 80-20 rule, and it's burgundy blossom, so burgundy, no. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. It's a very interestingly spun. It almost feels like cotton, like the cotton balls when they're thin like that. So the knit gauge is a 3mm, and the crochet gauge is 3.5 to 4.5 millimeter. It is a fine 2 or silk blend sports weight, and it is hand wash only because it's silk. So yay, our little 50 grams, which in this case is 125 yards. So it's actually pretty good. And let's see what we've got in here. Our little thing that was making noise is this little box inside a box, right? And this is a handmade wooden shawl pin. Check it out. According to the box, it retails for $11.99. That is a very good deal. So if you want one of these, maybe you can go to the website for $11.99 or subscribe. Oh wow. Okay, so I've started seeing shawl pins, but I don't wear a lot of shawls, and I have never used one. So now I've got to finish my shawl. Well, I have a couple shawls I finished, I just don't wear them. And figure out how to use my shawl pin. So that's the circle. Check it out. The detail's awesome. And then the pin, oops, is kind of a corkscrew look. So That is really cool. I think that's one of my favorite gifts that they've sent with the subscription. So that's pretty neat. Then we get a book that has patterns in it. Usually there's a knit pattern and a crochet pattern. And then it also talks about whoever the spotlight is for the month as far as the artisans. Here's a picture of the artisans. They look like they're having a whole yarn. Haha. Alright. So what we have is our knit pattern, and it is a settle cable boot cuff. So for those of you who knit and want that pattern, that's what it is. That's pretty cool, I guess. I don't know how. I guess you just stick it in there so it looks cute. And the crochet pattern is a ribbed boot cuff. So same thing. Although this looks really cute, I will probably not be making that. I don't wear boots. So I'm going to have to think of something else. But that's okay. I really like the yarn. The pattern falls under my rule of something different that's not trying to make a shawl or a hat. Or I mean, for this box, it's usually a cowl or a hat. It was for a long time, so I'm glad we've steered away from that. So I'm very pleased with the pattern in the sense that it's something unique and different that we don't get every month. But the pattern is not for me, so I'm not going to be, that's not my pattern. But that's okay, because it might be your pattern. Let me know what you think. Is this a pattern that you're excited about, that you would do? I don't know. I'd like to get your guys' feedback on that one. And maybe they would too. Every once in a while they check in. Alright, so if you're not doing the boot cuff, what do you guys want to do? I'm trying to think what to do. I'm not a big fan of making hats, and I'm not a big fan of making cowls, and honestly I'm not a big fan of making scarves. I make a lot of scarves for gifts, but for me I don't really wear scarves. So I wonder what I can do. Although I do like making skinny scarves. That just kind of, not really a scarf, but more of a decoration. That actually would be really good for that. Those lacy scarves. Alright, so there's my idea for now. We'll see what I end up doing with it. So until next time, later peeps!